Hey everyone. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Welcome to the stream. Today is patch 5.5 day for Final Fantasy 14. Now in this video, in this live stream, note that there will be spoilers. I'm kind of setting this up right now in case people are kind of popping in and wondering what's going on in the live stream. Now, if at ever there becomes a point in which that there aren't spoilers, just note that I'll try to designate that somewhere in the title of the video itself, but hopefully this will be fun. Caleb's joining in saying, hey, what's up? Let's get to it. So I have yet to experience the story. This is going to be play through the story. We'll do the dungeon. If there's time, I'll jump into the near raid. If there's time, I will jump into the cloud deck, which is the latest trial fight themselves. If you guys have any questions at all, always feel free to ask live, and if for some reason I don't see it, you can always tag at Ginger Prime, so that way I can hopefully get to your questions and make sure I see them live as it's happening. Or if you're watching this as a part of an archive later, thanks for checking it out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on the channel. Be sure to hit that like button on the channel, and you can always leave me questions in the comments below. But again, I like to put out various guides around these games, multiplayer RPGs, so to speak. So without further ado, it's time to get into it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Also, the pinned link is for the Twitch. Chris is live over on Twitch right now, so you can go check him out and watch as well. As he's, I think, finished all the story stuff and is now just kind of waiting to get into, doing the content in the near raid. Let's see here. All right. I need to go into, where are you? Not the repeatables, but let's see here. Under the breach. Okay. Let's go in here. Not there. Where are you? There we go. There we go. So how you been, Caleb? Rising Stones. If you guys also are unfamiliar with Final Fantasy XIV, note that this is part 1 of a 2-part story, which is going to lead us right into the expansion. Part 2 is going to happen sometime at the end of May, most likely May 25th here. All right. Good news, Bryn, Thancred, and Oriange have finished their tour of Garlemald, and they're on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything of the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping that they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive at any moment, so we'll see what they have to say. You're working on your MMO like Final Fantasy XIV? That sounds exciting. That sounds really cool. Good luck. Oh, Blender. I have been working with a couple of apps, and one of those is that I've been recommended Blender. I've been working with oh man, it's great for modeling assets. Honestly, as you might have waited for me to return, I've discovered a cure for tempering as it is. I can't even pretend. Well, it's any consolation to myself, a little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Gratia, and Bryn, but I believe, speaking for the rest of us, I say we're proud that we rendered little assistance as we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking step forwards, finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lab. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help notice that you're one of Oriange short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, if I couldn't lose him if I tried, and I did try repeatedly, but no, he's decided to linger in Alamingo to apprise Rohavan of the others. Mayhap we would do the same for us. Indeed, it is just as Lee said, worse in fact, devastation as far as the eye can see. Nerva and Illard, however, are notable. Might, as we have their ends to the ends of Xenos and Fandaniel. Can I? Let's see here. There's X maybe? You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still. All throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. I wonder if the new Alliance raid in Endwalker would be something with Garlemald. Transform it into what? That's a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something of a nightmare. According to Oriange, certain aspects of his design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as my edifice it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word in exchange between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed or tempered. Ooh. I'm just like, I'm gonna move my camera here. There we go. That's gonna look a little cleaner. All right. We want to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Daniel could bind Bahamut to its will, might he have done the same for the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certainly to prove valuable to you. Have our thanks. Well, be sure to have some for Orange, which reminds me I have a message from Alamingo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be worried from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking for another matter. As I promised Kral, we need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamingo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Oriange before the meeting. Wow! Isa333, thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Welcome to the Soul Nation. It's going to keep going off, just FYI. Sometimes the system is strange when it comes to notifications, so I appreciate that. Wow! Alright, let's go. Here we go. Gorabanya. Slowly and teleport. So Joshua Soul, then Alphen, Gary, Vol, and Silenus. Thanks so much. Welcome. Oh, I'm casting Holy for no reason. And also, yes, the PS5 upgrade was today. So if you have a PS5, this is the PS5 beta is available, so you can go download that. Thanks, creature. So it says, hey man, just wanted to stop by and press a few buttons, show some support for being brave enough to speak on truth, my man. Thanks, creature. Really appreciate that, dude. I don't feel brave. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, you know, like because at the same time, I'm not a content creator in terms of like, this is my means of providing for my family. But yeah, there definitely were some risks in talking about it. And I talked to my wife beforehand to make sure that she was on board. And who's to say that this isn't the part? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after the whole year or another, but apparently not. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but my soul may be a year older. My body has nearly aged, as you all are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elzen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, one day will come when even a great Arrakis, such as yourself, will crane your neck to meet my eye. Yeah, and thanks for pressing buttons, guys. Thanks for the 5 likes. I appreciate that. 'Twas not until my 20th summer that I found myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbrita still towered over me nonetheless. Arenval brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease with each other's company. It's almost endearing. Nod in approval. So what exactly brings you here? Flordola. Mostly we need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does that mean that she has something to do with the towers? We'll give you that impression. Actually, tell me later. I've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. If Flordola is going with him, then that must mean... My apologies. As Arnvol rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend to. Let's leave it to us. I think this is voice acted.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. It is no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telephoroi's disposal.
Telephorois.
But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
How convenient.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar, and that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be
to Garlemald. This changes the game.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
That it does.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telephoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first.
I'm making the same expression as them.
Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
I don't know why that's surprising. I mean, it seems like the logical one.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
Thanks, Mark, and welcome back to the game. And if you have any questions, obviously, as you get into the gun breaking or tanking, just feel free to ask, man.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
I think not only is does it easy, because I think it's really fun. I think Gunbreaker's really fun to play. So beyond like any ease of the job, you know, because essentially like it depends on what skill level you're trying to get to. Like if you're just being like, yep, doing dungeons and tanking, got the hate, doing cooldowns, yeah, you'll be just fine. If you want to like work on mastering it, I still struggle a little bit with making sure I'm getting everything knocked out. Who should I talk to? They're here somewhere. Just waiting for it to pop. There we go. Where is this? Let's see if it's voice acted.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamoldva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
See you, Mark. Yeah, I got up early to work stuff so I could play, and then I have to go back to work after I kind of... my goal is to finish at least the story today.
Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? Well, that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh?
Man, I can't tell you just how good the music in this game is. Like, it is just insulting that they haven't nominated this for some kind of reward.
You come in with me.
Well, I still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway.
Thanks, Lambo.
But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
Oh, yeah.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Oh yes, on the dragon hunt.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru.
No caller
I'm
ID on
happy
these
to
link
say
shells.
we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
All right. To Ishgard, here we go.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. Give me that money. All right, next up, here be dragons. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever that brings him home, we must hope to keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time for us to lose. Da 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 da. Sometimes it like locks on real easily. Sometimes it's like oh, good times. Okay. All present good, let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to the place, Grahia and I will look around the open spaces, the squares, markets, and whatnot. You and Bryn can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well, let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at Sky Steel Manufactory. So perhaps we could try the congregation. Lucia may well have heard the news of our friend's return. Okay. And let's just run. I'm enjoying the new fast loading speeds. Like, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the game did get updated for PS5. And the overall system has been updated to support higher texture resolutions and more. In fact, they're even talking about making a pathway forward to continue to upgrade the textures in themselves. So it's they're taking on a lot of work, a big project for the world of 14. Whoop. Yes, good day to you, Warrior Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending a meeting in El Domingo, so I gather you've come in search of him. To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we are not aware Sir Estinian has returned to Ishgard, but as you might expect, you remember, he is wont to come across and go as he pleases. Perhaps he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of his companions that has fared better. Speak with Alice at the airship landing. Okay, and there we go. Lambo says, it's funny to that you say that because I've been feeling like the main scenario hasn't been as long as it used to be. Maybe, no, it's actually been shorter, more condensed, which has been, I think, overall positive. They've kind of learned a lot of notes. It's, you know, back in ARR, especially because they even went through and had to trim out many quests. You end up seeing like they had kind of a 9-minute per kind of quest life cycle. Like, hey, and then they've kind of cleaned that up, streamlined it to be a little bit more focused. And yeah, I would say that a lot of people also have felt a scrunch when it comes to the game. If it's voice acted, I'll stop talking. So with that, I think they've been working. Oh, 1 second. I'll come back.
Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
It's not Alphino.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino!
Good times.
If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Oh, nice little comedic break.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long.
Oh, that's fantastic.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
I like this second answer rather than at them.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Azis La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see.
So glad they're bringing back
As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azis La together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
Alright. This is voice acting. Okay, I was going to say, like, I'm going to be really impressed. It's been a while, quite some time since we last set up foot on Law, but as I understand, the three of you were rather more recently. I suppose you chanced meet with Tiamat during your visit. Well then, Bryn is the person to ask. As far as I know, he's the only one of us that have met Tiamat face to face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Alghian Empire. Let's just say I helped that Squirrel was there to introduce me. Oh yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see, then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Pizza. A pizza. I'll take a pizza pie. Yeah. All right. Righteous indignation. Tiamat awaits. This way. But what I was saying earlier, how from a technological perspective, it feels like they've been working behind the scenes on bigger and bigger things. And my hope is that ends up being true, because I think that would allow for the game to really kind of grow and thrive over the course of the next, several years. But it's kind of impossible to say. Destination. There we go. Once again, yes, the voice acted. I will let them talk. My sire's mortal companion would bring us to the sacred place of the child of man.
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
So here's everything that's happened. That my sins should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Messeridia, our children. The icon claimed the souls when he first manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools of the Alghian's dark designs.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Captives of a lost empire, neither alive nor dead, existing only to preserve Bahamut's corporeal form.
Interesting. Yes, we've seen this. Yes, the dragons of Messeridia are at the mercy of this Ascian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Ascians, vile minions of darkness. Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved, and strip your children of their freedom, their dignity, and there are no depths to which you will not stoop. Jack says, I'm new to the game. What is an easy class to play? I would absolutely point you to Archer, Jack. It gives you a lot of freedom of mobility and range, so you can kind of play the game and enjoy, that. If you were kind of more of the tank, I'd go Gladiator. If you're thinking healer, you got to go Conjurer. There's really not another option. If you like Caster, I would probably point you to the Arcanist to start. And those would be probably my options. If you're in the melee, if you like to really kind of be up and personal, man, let's see, it's a Dragoon probably would be the best option. Hopefully that helps, Jack. And welcome to Final Fantasy.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wilt thou have of me, Slayer of Dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
So in that regards, if you don't mind being ranged DPS, again, go Archer. If you want to be melee DPS, like up close and personal, then go Lancer. And that's going to be, and Lancer will have more survivability. It's got better gear, and the new job that comes in the latest expansion is going to share a gear set with Lancer, which evolves to Dragoon. So that will be the best choice. Like now, Archer will become Bard, and you might not necessarily like that, but at level 60, you actually unlock Dancer. At Heaven's Word, you can unlock Machinist. Machinist having guns and ranged. Archer, Bard having still their bow and arrow, and then Dancer being able to throw the chakrams. And I can show you their playstyles here in just a second. Were I free, I would answer that insolence with fire, but words shall have to suffice. Recall, mortals, that it was I who first summoned my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul.
Hey, no worries, Jack. That's why I'm here, man. So I'll show you guys. I'll show you some of the jobs here just once I finish this cutscene.
But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed, ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power of what we first brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is for little matter, for I had the strength to resist. I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance.
Tempering resistance, baby.
If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe Hydaelyn, and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. Forces have been shown to be effective during the tempered. Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger, immensely more powerful than any subject treated thus far. If we were to remove her restraints only to find that the process has failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose that we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Algans kept detailed records on all their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphinaud and Bryn here well enough, but not you. Are you certain that you're ready for this, though? Rest assured, Sir Justinian, I am both ready and willing to give it my all for the sake of the star, though that might not be my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. I took that encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first steps towards a bright future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. Gather that you are not as young as you look. Mayhaps when our work here is done, we could trade tales of over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. And yes, we are familiar with it, the Ethereal Chemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Very creepy. Here's my blood. Which you just so happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose you could seem rather odd to explain Rambros's Oriange and I are researching these spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories but in traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test the theory arise. As for its use, you may recall that during the previous visit, the nodes were granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being royal blood, and armed with the spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try. Agreed, let's take good care of it. Alright, Jack, you still here? Because after this, I'm going to fight some monsters for you. Then to the flagship. Oh, good. All right. Let's go. I'm going to find some monsters over here on the flagship. and then I'll show you the different jobs. So essentially kind of what I'm recommending. The thing is that with your character, you can play all the jobs. What typically new players end up getting stuck in is they start changing their jobs around level 30 and level 40, and they never really kind of get to the different tiers of the game itself. My voice cracking. So if you think about it, is that I would really make sure that if nothing else, you want to get to level 50 and kind of get some of the story unlocked done, namely because you unlock flying, especially in the earlier zones, so it's really important. All right, so you liked the concept of ranged DPS. Here's what you have access to. To start the game, you only have access to a Bard. So Bard uses bow and arrow. You can kind of see here with my character. I can go ahead and pick on a target, and it's very proc-heavy job design, and obviously I'm well overpowered for the area of effect. So you can boost your damage, you can boost all of your attacks, and you get a lot of power. The other thing you have going for you as a Bard is you have these various songs that you sing. Well, it looks like I, don't have a target to kind of impact. So note that you will be singing these songs as a Bard. They offer passive benefits to you and your party. So, and again, I'm just doing a high-level summary of it. You can go check out my which class to select video on this channel if you're wanting more detail and thoughts on it. But that's the Bard. Ranged, bow and arrow wielding, lots of really cool stuff to kind of play around with. All right, so we did Bard. And let me just I have them grouped. Okay, so at level 30, unfortunately, you won't have access to this until you actually get all the way through ARR. Again, finishing the story is important. You'll unlock Machinist. Machinist has guns and weapons and things like that. So I'm gonna, you know what? Let's just get a targeting dummy, because one part of the Machinist's job is actually building up to summon a giant robot. Yeah. Which can be a lot of fun. The downside of it is that no matter what, you're gonna start as Bard. There's no way, shape, or form around it. But you get a lot of those skills to kind of weave in and out. So the Machinist kind of feels pretty fun. Plus, you get tools if you're familiar with Final Fantasy, things like the Bioblast or things of that nature. You get these real big hits that kind of come into play. Boost up my battery. You can see here, you can actually have quite a lot of things going on while you level and play. So I'm just trying to get to my robot. So now I can summon my robot. Now this is at level 80. It's like a little turret like earlier on. So the robot's going to go up there and fight on its own right now, which is kind of nice. Now I can also just have my robot self-destruct. It's going to finish its finishing move, but you'll lose DPS. The goal of that is that, let's say you a boss is about to enter a phase of it's gonna not be able to take damage. You want to make sure you do that finishing move before they kind of shift their phases. So, all right, reset striking dummy. Set striking dummy. Okay, so that's the Machinist in a nutshell. And finally, you have Dancer. Dancer, 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 dancer. There we go. Cool. So here's Dancer. Dancer is also focusing in on range. So again, kind of like Bard, you got a lot of abilities. You can set a dance partner, which is going to get some more passive benefits, and it's proc based, but it actually locks the procs into kind of like a holster. So instead of like reacting to it right away, you can actually build up your procs, and then you can kind of unleash them all at once. So Dancer's a lot of fun. It actually has some movement abilities that will let you dash in and out wherever necessary, because essentially if you're going to do kind of an AoE rotation, you got to be up close and personal to be able to get that going. You can see that this here comboing in and of itself. Now with Dancer, it will unlock once you hit level 60 and you have the it's the Shadowbringers expansion. So you have to at least do that to get Dancer. So you have to have the expansion and you have to have at least level 60, which essentially that means you would have all three of the ranged DPS. The other option that I kind of recommended was Dragoon. Like if you wanted something a little bit more survivable, it doesn't mean you won't die, because the joke usually ends up being that Dragoons are the floor tank, and it's usually tied to the fact that with Dragoon, you end up having you end up getting so focused on your rotation that it ends up kind of throwing you off a little bit. So it's like, oh no. And I could do some bigger jumps. So, and then you can kind of partner up with a couple people. So gives you a lot to use. Now the Dragoon's going to have some positionals that you will want to be aware of, which is like you want to kind of position yourself to the front or to the side of the enemy as necessary, and you can see that I've kind of got that listed here for more damage. Cool. So hopefully, Jack, that gives you some insight as to the different jobs. All right, back to the flagship. But yeah, I would recommend maybe checking out that video if you're still like questioning as to what you should do. Bum-ba-da-bum. Bum-ba-bum. Let's split up and search the flagship. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not be so accidentally release the same manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective is to stage a simply to identify the relevant node. While we learn what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes. One node, two node. Like how they're all different shapes. And three node. Yes, but I would not recommend it. You would end up losing out on a lot of DPS. So you can create macros that say do this, do this, do this, but you'll end up losing out on a lot of damage. It doesn't work like now. There's certain skills like you can do that. Like I actually have that with Dragoon, where I stack different things that are called off the global cooldowns. Yes, I did. And then you actually can take advantage of that because it saves me a little bit of frustration as a controller player because I can kind of consolidate certain skills, which is what I use for macros and what I call fail through mentality. But it's not as smart as I wish it would be. But you can absolutely do it. I won't stop you. And then when you do it, eventually you'll be like, oh man, like, and you're not like missing out on just a small fraction. You would be missing out on a lot of potential damage, especially as a DPS. And that's actually, I think, one of the hardest roles in this game. A lot of people kind of like, oh, damage, you know, I don't have to worry about tanking or healing. I think tanking's the easiest role. I think healing is the one that gets blamed for everything, and then I think DPS is the hardest because you gotta, like, you really want to have to make sure you're paying attention. New user detected. Authentication complete. Royal member of the family. Please state your name. I'll do Bryn. Welcome, Bryn. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. Oh, isn't that always the case? The system update, what do you suppose is asking us? I could hazard a guess. Oh, let me go. I'll find it for you real quick. 1 second. Bum bum bum, Lincoln Newtown. Let's see here. All right. Okay, so from a Dragon controller guide perspective, that's going to kind of walk you through how I've got the macro set up, so you can kind of get a look at that. And then overall from the class, which class is best perspective? Best, not best tanking class, one second, best starting class. Yes, cool. Copy, link here. Cool. And this is the class one, so just the overview, etc. Jack. So hopefully you enjoy that content. Hopefully it gives you what you need, what you're looking for, you know? User agnation detected in the navigation guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, it requires that the central control system, however, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located in the flagship. So can this thing release the strengths or not? It can, but only if once we've received a requisite system update, quote unquote, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spawning nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected in classification protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying. I dare say that we will fare better with guidance than without it. Incomplete. Alright. For vengeance! Guiding user to terminal, please this way. Christmas bear. Let's see, according to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.153. I dare say ask which version you are employing. 42.002, of course. Warning, errors detected in data management system. Estimated time required to update 5 years, 1 day. That is rather longer than we were hoping. Aren't there any other options? For instance, using the terminal to operate Tamat's restraints instead? The proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may have changed as a result of the system update and my instructions may no longer be accurate. Well, I can imagine that would have changed all that much. As long as we pay due attention to any discrepancies, I dare say we shall be in the muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain. Just tell me if we made any progress. I would say so, yes. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link pearl once I am ready to release the shackles. I might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured I will be certain to return to Gratia once this is all over. Just a little bit more work and Tamat will be free. But before we go any further, there's something I would know. When Tamat and her kin fought against us in the Algian Empire, both sides were about but dancing to the tune of the Ascians. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All that the Ascians touch turns to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. But there have been times where you've tried to reach out to them instead to find common ground. And so, I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try to reach out to him too? Enemy or no, I want to understand him. But he did not tell you that he was beyond reason? If he wishes to die, I say we oblige him. And perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it's but the faintest glimmer. I can only hope that you do not come to rue your benevolence. I think it's unwise for viewing the world as us. Far from it. It's ever been your way, as I've learned when I've journeyed together with Iceheart. Yet the facet remains that there are some who view compassion as a weakness to be exploited, and there may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. So save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Alphino has things in hand, here I suggest we rejoin the others. Sidney told me all that as well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Alphino's absence that he is needed elsewhere. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure I'm probably going to lose 1,000,000 gil, but why not put some money on it, right? I think that's the thing. If I'm right and I win, like, everybody wins. Even if it's just like Game Pass PC, here's a mount that you get as an ultimate perk or something. Well, that sounds rather frustrating, but you got there in the end while you were off taking the notes. Gratia and I were learning as much as we could about Tomat's condition. Readings confirmed that the ethereal balance leaned strongly towards the umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of aether in which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required if they are to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Meaning, I'll need all the aether I can get, and thank you in advance. Thanks for the support there. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic, namely that Tomat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting milder case of tempering than the suffering of the kobolds. Tomat saw Bahamut as equal rather than a god. Might we have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It is time to put our theories to the proof. Tell Alphino to disengage the restraints. Ethereal dampeners. Counting on you, Angelo. Well, thanks guys for the 9 likes. I really appreciate that. It helps share out the stream. Ah, such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. But that's where these visions of days forgotten, the war of men of Alec, therefore do such baleful memories return to me now. Could it be that the process of restoring her soul to his pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Bryn, she trusts you. Speak to her, ask her to tell you of times past. Tell me of Bahamut and the Asians. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved, would that the peace we found in Mericidia could have lasted for eternity. But alas, it was not meant to be. The Ascians saw into that. In all creation I know of none more wicked. It was their behest that the men of Malagig first came unto Mericidia, unto our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our farther side, and we took wing to search for a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would become to be known as Mericidia by the children of men. Through many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed to by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees, surrounded by nature's bounty. Bahamut and I found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. That correlates with the writings of this Charlayan scholar, Ruska. She posits that a man first settled in the southern continent towards the end of the second astral area. Correctly, it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale of Tiamat herself. Again, Angelo. When the first children of men arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of dragonkind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing even more of their brethren, who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time we knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, and the smaller of the share became to seem, and soon they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man, blood was answered with blood, and none could have seen an end to the strife until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede with their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him pressing over the affairs of man, the land knew peace once more. Alas, these golden days of harmony too were fated to end, for the men of Algeg slew my beloved, and I, in a rage of sorrow, heeded the envenomed world of Ascians. The rest, as thou knowest only too well. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. Fine sentiments, but you are almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear, when this is over. Keep going, Alice. The magic is working. While I knew it wasn't going to be easy, no patience could have prepared me for treating the Great Worm. But we're close, I can feel it, and while I was only got a few more drops of Aether left to give, with yours and Gratia's, this will work. I believe you speak for both of us when I say that this may take as much as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here we go.
No! I'm almost there! This is it, Angelo!
I feel that the icon's grip groweth weak.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Answer me this, children of man, can my kindred be saved in a like manner?
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
My children.
Slosk an all fall kail an. Slosk saith som in an.
Should we hearken into my call, we shall fly together once more, but should you not, I shall grant you peace. Doing really good, Ryan. Doing really good today.
One an. Lis an. Do ood an.
Better than die than live as a tool of evil. You should know this. I know, and I shall do as I must.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
How you been? Life treating you well? Thou hast my gratitude, little one.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
You playing the patch today at all, Ryan, or are you playing some other games right now? My beloved. For vengeance and atonement I rise. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah.
By the gods.
Orionje,
yes.
your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan.
Oh, yeah. Time to go.
He flies for the largest Amalja settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits.
Shall we?
Shall we?
Alright, smoked chicken. Yeah, absolutely. Bum, bum, bum. The Flames of War. You're getting the dreaded 601 on the Mog Station. Can you make a payment through Steam? Oh no! I've already sent words to the others. They are rendezvousing in Ulda. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the PlayStation 5 beta, as like people probably just flooding to check out the game on PS5 through the free trial or something like that. Dude, I'm so sorry, man. I bet that is stressful. Now, I know some of you could do with the rest, but I'm sorry to say that the Talafari have their other plans. Palgathan is already under siege. Happily, the Immortal Flames arrived just in time to join the defense effort, with Marshal Tupin at their head. Yay! Well, now, given the failure of the peace negotiations, I was uncertain how the Sultanate would respond. 'Tis good to hear that Ulda has not abandoned the Al-Majah. Abandoned them? Did we not profess to be their friends? Marshal Tupin has made a provision such an exigency that was ready to depart the moment's notice. All that was required was the agreement to the syndicate of whom which voted to favor their intervention. Nor did Ulda atone at its resolve. The other alliance nations have likewise dispatched their troops to Palgathan. Yet, even as our combined strength, we shall be sorely tested, for we face not only the might of the Imperial Legion, Lunar Bahamut, and his draconic horde besides. Tiamat's children. Fight as we may, victory is by no means assured, but nor all that the omens are grim. Our forces report that despite their proximity to Lunar Bahamut, none of the Al-Majah show any signs of tempering. Strange, what primal would turn down a chance to claim new thralls? Unless he is incapable of doing so, primals are not wont to serve a master, Ascian or otherwise. It may well be that Lunar Bahamut differs in some fundamental manner from those of the previously encountered. If that were true, anyone could fight him, and Bryn and the others like him would have to shoulder the burden alone. Be it as it may, Lunar Bahamut reigns an uncalculable powerful foe, whom our soldiers will struggle the best through the mere forces of arms. With the aid of the Scions, however, I believe that they would fare far better, assuming that is that you're all ready to take the field. An airship awaits to bear you to the front. Pray set forth as soon as you're able. Yes. I mean, I shall continue to coordinate our forces till next we meet. May the 12 bless you and keep you. It was kind of her to speak with us personally, as you may be certain that she has no shortage of other responsibilities. Well, I for one am inclined to do as her grace requests. Let us forget Arnval and Fordola or at Palgathan in reconnaissance. The sooner we save the day, the better their chances. Indeed. To the airship then. Oh good, airship landing time. Not been to the airship landing in quite a while. The streets of Ulda. It's been a long time. Hagathon is now accessible. Enjoy. Yes, this music is amazing. I hope you get to play today, Ryan. I really do. I'm sorry that it's giving you such grief. Passing. You shall torment my children no longer. Dadgum, this music, man. Oh. Always be casting. Always be casting. Yeah, like it could just easily be the rush of new players coming back, you know? So, try not to get too disheartened. Yes, yes. Boom, baby. Yeah, we can actually play the game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play later today, Jack, but absolutely. I'm on the Aether Data Center, so as long as you're on the same data center, in patch 5.58, which will be probably here in a couple of months, we'll actually data center visit. Now, that's a bigger video topic. You can kind of go check out Work the Game for more discussions around this game if you need, but just know that's absolutely, I love playing with the community. I don't know if the Discord bot's working, but and all the videos, all the content, Discord link, you want to get hooked up with us. Critical Rip. Oh god. You transfer to the tower. Electric burst. I don't know, I just have a feeling like that's going to be frontal. Yeah. Thunder Call. Can we grab that? Yeah, those are pulses. Got it. Oh no! Ah! Ah! Oh man, so many stacks. No tower. Yeah, get him down. Great. Excellent. I'm on Sargatanis. And if somebody can spell that out for him while we're doing this dungeon. You got the Shadowbringers edition, so you only have Heavensward and Stormblood now. So Shadowbringers includes everything prior. So like whatever the most current version of the expansion you get. So if you got Shadowbringers, you got everything prior to that, which is great.
Oh no, you don't.
Yes. Love the voice acting in the dungeons. Okay. Oh, come on. Ah, bummer. Missiles. Get him, get him, get him, get him. Yes. Good job, team. Good job. Good job, team. Sit down. I wish there was like auto-rolling rules that you could set. Let's do this. Dragon mounting. Oh yeah. This is freaking incredible. This is so incredible. I guess while I'm flying here, let me SARGANS on either data center. Yes. Okay. Cool. 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 There it is. Baby. Lunar Bahamut. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Yes, here's the music. It's time to go. I'm the lone guy in the cutscene. Perfect. Let's go. Twisted Scream's coming up. A little just raid wide ammo. We got a little stuff on the ground. Got towers. Get the heck out of the dodge. Okay. Mega Flare. I'm gonna run it back out of the way. Okay, things on the ground. Okay. I'm just gonna look in this other direction. Come on, no! Was I supposed to move? We have a res mage. We have a res mage. I was like, alright, I need to figure out what I was supposed to do there. Res mage? Yes, please. Thank you. Perfect. Team did good. Team did real good. Team did really good. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. There it is. Yes. That was fun. That was a ton of fun. Apparently getting some loots too while I'm in this little mini cutscene. Fantastic. Highly recommended. Will do again. Highly recommended. Will do again. And player com. Read. Need. GG everybody. GG. Sweet action, Jackson. Children of man, the shade of my beloved is no more, and I shall be forever in your debt.
Antal an in Aisto. Antal afa snalask en I ash an dran mira.
By your deeds we are set free, and free shall we remain as long as I draw breath. Never shall the dragons of Mare City hearken to the lies of the Ascians. This I vow.
Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
Be proud to call you our allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
Sometime earlier inside the Palgathin Tower. I don't know, Kretz. Sounds like gross.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
That just sounds disgusting to walk on. Yeah, this is the newest update, Jack.
Get back!
Just dropped today.
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
You gonna summon Ifrit right in here?
No! No!
Oh,
Don't
it's Shadow
you dare!
Ifrit.
We came together and we're leaving together!
Wow! Oh, that's exciting. Is it free? So, Final Fantasy XIV works off of a subscription model, Jack. So, yes, it is free. It's a part of your subscription. So, whether you take a break, you don't have to buy the individual DLC. Like, what would be considered DLC, it's a patch update. So, this is 5.5. The next big one happens here in a couple of, like, 6 weeks or something like that. And so, they have a really consistent way of rolling out new content, new dungeons, new raids, new all that great stuff. You might be interested in checking out my latest video on the subject. I posted it last night, just FYI, because it kind of breaks down kind of the game itself and what you can expect. There he is. And direct hit, we'll go with that. You may now enter as trust. When the dust settles. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin here and her grace. Brave scions. Would I treat you as here as welcome, but I bear urgent news from the front of Sir. Your Grace, whatever's the matter. As our troops withdrew from Palgathan, they came upon the 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear the full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend, I believe, had been wounded and is being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, Your Grace. Can you tell us aught of Arenval's condition, Your Grace, the wounded scout? Not, save that it is, Grace. The Tyrians tend to give him to him as even we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Bryn, Estinian, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see the relevant people, know what took place in Palgathan. Come on, then. Chamber of Rule. Yeah, it will require a subscription to this game. After your, like, if you bought the game, like you said, you get like a 30-day subscription, and then after that you would have to pay per month to continue to play. If you're on the free trial and you haven't bought the game, then there is no subscription, and you can play all the way through the second expansion, Heaven's Word, for free. Wait, that's not where I wanted to go. Yeah, the subscription is required. Okay. But for the free trial, it is not. So it's a little bit kind of a weird bummer in that way, right? So I always recommend starting with the free trial because you can play with no subscription, no upfront cost, all the way through, and then if you decide that you like the game, then you can subscribe and go from there and get your 30 days. Enough Alpha No, this isn't helping. Jack, you're re-downloading the game, so like if you bought in the game in the past, then yeah, you can't take advantage of the free trial.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better, and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll not be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
I know. There's nothing more that can be done here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Signs of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragrance Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining them? Aye, aye. We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide.
Chirurgeon, that's how I pronounce it.
You have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fandaniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Hijacking them.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
You need to only tell me where they are, Your Grace.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, It was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Paglfan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Right then, unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Alphino. Armval is in good hands here. Of course, he doubtless mocked me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, and we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement, then I shall let Krile know what to expect of us. A hot bath and a hearty meal should be beyond arranging with the time available. It will be good home. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking them. Thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await your return, and Krile in particular has a few matters she is keen to discuss, one of which concerns you, Estinian. Believe it or not, will you join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you'd say you were avoiding that Bastonian woman. If I refused, she would only pursue me. Let's get this over with then, shall we?
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvold's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldessian will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of Val. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing.
Okay.
A topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly? When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Krile, I made inquiries of my own. And as far as I'm able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now, of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again. Will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Yes.
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. Oh, the weapon collection. Show me a scythe. Show me a scythe.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
You-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Show me a scythe. Show me a scythe.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
Come on, don't do this to me. Oh, you son of a gun. Oh, you suck. Oh, come on. Oh. Well, looks like I'm going to have a few moons, but another anything but. Thancred got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, but I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, nobody does it better than us. Well, then you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with the primal in the near future, but for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in. I'm glad to remind you, this is the least you can do to support the Scions who risk their life and limb, like poor Arenvale. I wish there was something I could do for him, but we must just settle to saying an odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It would do him come to the complete shambles now, would it? But that's enough of my rambling. Off you go to the rest. If there are some developments, I promise that you'll be the first to know. Bum, 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 bum. Yes. All right. It's almost 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to go get myself a little lunch. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me here today as we do the story. I might be back. I don't know yet really kind of what my afternoon looks like. If so, if I come back and play more on the stream today, it'll be focusing around the near raid, and it will be focusing around the ultimate fight. And that's what we got. So thanks, guys, everybody who got tuned in, whether you're watching live, you're watching the archive, and more. Appreciate you. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day. But hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.